Welcome to yet another video on Frenat Farms. We have our rabbitry intact, we have our rabbitry ready, and so making more content from here, mistakes I've made, what I've learned so far. The rabbits have not been here for long, they've been here just for a month, and what I've learned is a lot, or what I have observed about them is a lot. So I'll be sharing with you. But in this particular video, I'm going to talk more about the mistakes I made when I was buying my rabbits, and I'm going to tell you so that you don't make same mistakes when you are also going to make your rabbits farm. The first mistake I made was that I never went to any of the farms to go and make my purchases. I stayed in my home, got pictures or videos of the animals, and then I made payments for them. And so some of the animals came in not healthy, some came in very sick, and one actually came in with a defect, and which is something like physically challenged animal, and there was nothing I could do about it. It wasn't my fault to buy such animals, but it was my fault to buy such animals, and that could have been prevented if I had gone to the farms to go and check the animals myself. When you go to the farms, you see what you want and you are able to examine the animal. You just don't see the animal in the cage and you buy it or you accept to take it to your home. But you have to observe the animal and notice whether it has certain features on it that would let you have to leave it behind and pick another one or something like that, which I didn't do because I stayed in my home and I ordered for the animals. The second mistake I made was I had wanted to buy every breed and start with it, buying both the female and a male. So if I'm buying New Zealand, I want to get New Zealand white and then a New Zealand white female. So the spotted male, spotted female, palomino male, palomino female. But then later, luckily, I chanced on a video here on YouTube, and I felt that was a mistake I was making. That video actually brought me back to the right thing that I was supposed to do, and I felt no, I shouldn't be buying them like that. I should learn from that particular video and start small, start with a particular breed and then specialize if possible. And if not, if I have one male, that male can even service the other females. I had a reason for wanting to buy them like that, but I noticed that it was even straining my pocket and it was also becoming difficult for me to get both males and females from certain areas or certain farms that I was expecting to get it from. Then the other mistake I made that I wouldn't want you to make when you want to buy your rabbits is not asking for the dates that the animals were born, maybe the parents, and then the line, a bit of the line. Some of the farmers, when you ask them, I noticed some of them wouldn't really have the answers for you, but at least you should try to get to know it. If the person has the answers, you have to know the date of birth of your animals, and you don't just have to pick any animal and think, oh, they say it is 5 months, they say it is 4 months, so that is it. No, you don't have to accept it. You have to get the date, which will help you when you want to cross it, which will help you when you want to maybe vaccinate it. If you want to give it some injections, you have to know the months, the time that it was actually born, so that you are able to give the right dosage to suit the months that the animal is in. Then I think it will also be very necessary for you to know what the person you are buying from feeds his animals with. Because if the animals are being fed with a particular feed and you come and you want to give them something else, changing over drastically brings problems to the animal. So you know what they are being fed from their old farm. Then when you bring them to your farm, you start introducing what you have to them gradually, whilst you feed them with what they were first eating from their farm, so that it doesn't bring problems to the animals. When we get to the issue of feeding, we'll talk more about that, because I had initial problems when it came to feeding. I gave some animals the poultry feed that I've mixed up, like I've added some stuffs too, and they were not eating. They were not eating, so I had to use some means to get them to eat. And eventually, I noticed why they were not eating, and I solved that problem myself because initially I didn't ask the farmers what they were being given. I mean, what the animals were being given, right? Okay, so these are some of the mistakes I made whilst I was buying my rabbits, wanting to get all the breeds at the same time, the both males and females. And if I had continued this way, I would have had over 20 animals, both males and females, and that would give me 40 animals from the start. But starting that way and being a learner or being a new farmer, I cannot tell if I could have been able to do everything myself, raise them with the knowledge I've acquired so far. Because so far, I'm the only person that comes here to feed them. I go and cut grass myself. You see people looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, that's my job. So if I should have a lot of animals, giving them the feed wouldn't be a problem. But I don't want to give them just the feed. I want to add something. So that's something to be the grass and the leaves and all that. And those ones I have to go and get it myself. As whether I can do it or not, I know it. And I felt that would be too much for me. So I had to cut down on the different breeds that I want to get. And not that I want to get just the males or the females, but I want to really get both males and the females. Then secondly, not going to the farm to check the animal, see what you can see for yourself. And just buying them is a big problem. One of the animals that I bought, Dutch, two males came to my house and I had to transport them to the farm, but I had to keep them in the house before transporting them. And one got out of the box that it was placed in. And what I noticed about that particular animal was that it was just biting its feet and scratching its ears, scratching the body. And I was a bit worried. So I filmed and sent it to some farmers, and they said, no, rabbits will bite their feet and scratch their bodies and ears, but it is not too much as I am seeing with my rabbits. So there's a problem. Then they asked me to check their ears very well. Then I noticed that the tip of the ears had this very hard, it's hard in nature, and then the feet too had something like dandruff, something like some dandruff over there. And that was what I saw. And I told them, and they said it's actually a disease, and I needed to inject them. So I called the vet, we got the medications which I injected, and that cost me money. So if I had gone to the farm, those animals that were biting their feet, I would have noticed it on the farm and wouldn't have picked them. Then even when you check their paws, do we say rabbits have paws? Okay, let me say feet. When you check their feet very well, you see that it's not just normal, it looks abnormal. It has something like serious dandruff, something like that. That's the best description I can give. I don't really want to touch them now because their disease I learned is very contagious. So I had to seclude them, give them a place where it wouldn't have to spread to the other animals. Then I noticed one has improved. I've moved it to the cage right there behind me. The other one hasn't improved that much, so it is still in the quarantine cage. So when you want to buy rabbits, don't make this mistake. Don't be too busy that the place is too far. And if it's too far, get a farmer close to you in your area and go and get it from that farmer. Get a chance to observe the animals. You can do that with the farmer. And if they have issues like sore hogs, you see it yourself. If they have problems with their ears, ear canker, and all those petty diseases or infections, you notice it yourself and you just drop those animals. So that's all I'll have for you today. As we observe them, I'll be bringing you more videos. Thank you. Bye bye.